Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Doom at its heart is the story of one man's rage and reckless abandon. Though for the first time maybe ever, we now know a little bit more about our hero, the Doom Marine, and now Doom Slayer. To fully understand this story, we need to go back thousands of years to the mystical planet of Argent, where the Argenta, the Sentinel people, a warrior class with no equals who live in constant conflict, fight and seek eternal glory. In their heart of their world, godlike beings known as the Wraiths infuse them with magic and power. To protect this magic, warrior kings created a holy order, the Night Sentinels, whose sacred duty it was to protect these magical beings from all threats. The Argenta also created the Order of Dag, a priesthood dedicated to tending to the Wraith's magic and protecting the people from the planet's fury. This great magic and untold power caught the eye of another godlike species, the Maker race from the planet Urdak. Led by the Khan Maker, this hive mind seeks to control species through technological superiority and made themselves known to the Argenta, who then worshipped them as gods. Fate at this point, though, led the Outlander, the Doom Marine, through a portal into the world of the Argenta. He brought with him word of untold hordes and demons. I read now from the Codex of the time. In the time of King Novek, as the Argenta secured peace and safety through dimensions across time and space, an outlander came to us. He was not of our world and spoke an ugly tongue. How he first took step upon our land was unknown. Sentinel scouts had found the outlander bloodied, clawed, and near death, mumbling of impending doom and the forces of darkness. The scent of blood followed him, and the gore that stained his armor seemed not entirely his own. By Argenta law, the stranger would be judged in the Colosseum, where he would be given the chance of all who stray from the path to fight for his freedom. We knew not of this stranger. His mind seemed crippled with rage. He dressed in attire not suited for our lands and carried munition of arcane origin. We watched as his will overcame his injuries, and in the blood arena, he proved his worth. The Outlander's technique was crude and brutal, but the determination in his charge echoed that of any true-born sentinel. His war cry echoed through the Colosseum, as did the sound of his fury, and the guards cheered his banner. Rip and tear, they shouted, as the beast pushed beyond mortal wounds and certain death. He would be gifted no rank, no title. The survivors in the arena were provided only one reward, the right to earn an honorable death while spreading the blessings of the Makers to those in need. The Outlander's determination was witnessed, his ravings documented, and through the word of the Order of Dag, the Khan Maker had him brought before her. She set her minions to learning his tongue, for with his ugly words he spoke of lands unseen, creatures born of fire, and a dark place unknown to the Queen and her caste. Yet another opportunity to expand the gift of the Maker to those in need.
We found him in the valley, just outside the castle walls. He was badly wounded and wearing this.
Guts. Huge guts. Kill them. must kill them all.
He has fight in him yet.
In spite of his injuries.
Send him to the arena. Let him be judged like the others.
You'll make a fine addition to the front line, stranger.
The demons! They are everywhere. Must kill them all!
Dress his wounds and bring him to us. I want to know more about the others he speaks of.
Yes, Your Grace.
Our Slayer remembers this as he travels through the relics of the Argent people. As the war raged, the Night Sentinels had met an enemy unlike any other. At the brink of defeat, the Order of Dag studied these Hellspawn, found in their essence not a new enemy, but utopia. For this essence, when properly treated, will not only help the Argenta fight, but cure them of any diseases or maladies, and give the Maker hive mind what they've always been looking for, that true immortality. The battle was now set. They needed that essence, and there was one man's fury who could get it for them. I read again from the Codex of that time. There was one among us who seemed to know the true nature of these foul demons. It was the Outlander, the stranger who had come to us from places unknown, he who had survived in the front lines far longer than any Sentinel-born prisoner had before. His passion for battle against the vile horde was evident, his lust for their destruction matching our own. Though Ardent de Noor remained a foreign land to him, his fever caught the attention of inquisitors of the Sentinel Guard, some whispering of a suspected allegiance he held in secret with the demons. Silencing the critics, King Novek deemed him worthy of selection. The signifiers brought a commission to our king, and it was decided that he be lifted from the common rabble. Though no arena-born prisoner had ever been granted the honor, the Night Sentinels broke tradition and deemed the Outlander worthy of training. A number of disciples grumbled and chafed at the barbarian present in their ranks, but in the war with the demons, all opportunities for even the slightest advantage were to be considered. As they witnessed the stranger spar with their hall masters, they found in him an undying, unrelenting compatriot. This man was an outsider, friend to none, and yet rose each time he was thrown to the dirt of the circle. Battered and bruised, his brow stained with blood, he rose with grim determination for the chance to face his enemies in armed combat once again. Time passed as the stranger was instructed in the codified matrices of their order, the ancient lessons of battle and brotherhood taught to all sentinels. He could sense the opportunity before him. Soon, all of hell would feel his wrath once again. Satisfied that he would not be a detriment to their prowess, the Night Sentinels granted him his wish. As they ventured through the hell gates with the stranger in tow, they knew no rest, fighting in the unnatural elements and training under the blood moon of night. The stranger suffered exhaustion, wounds, and sickness, but asked for no aid and was offered none. 3 times the Night Sentinels ventured into the gate and back, and upon every return, the stranger strode more capable than before, his gait locked in step with the march of the Sentinels, a disciplined and now controlled lust for demon blood ever present. The passing of years and in numerous battles with the devils indentured the stranger to Argenta's mightiest warriors. and no longer did they condescend to him as a new-blooded conscript, for to them he had become a brother-in-arms forged in war, an ally, and a weapon. Thanks to these efforts, the Argenta flourished, but the Night Sentinels, the Doom Marine not yet named Slayer, did not relish in this abundance, for their job was not yet done. At the great battle of Terras Nabad, when a Titan rose once again, a rogue maker changed the course of history as the Outlander became the Doomslayer, again from the Codex of that time. Yet the Night Sentinels rallied and held fast against the demons, though they were pushed back and corralled at the Blood Arena. As the dark of night descended, their swords remained potent and shred the enemy multitude with abandon. Amidst the unyielding ranks of the Sentinels, when all other apprentices had fallen in battle, stood the Outlander. Rip and tear, he roared, ferocious in battle. The remaining conscripts of the arena stood in awe as they witnessed the beast who had once again raged within their very cells, now armored alongside the shoulders of his sentinel brethren. He had risen where none other had before, a true-born sentinel fighter, the very best among them. But though the swarm fell before their assault, the Titan remained invincible, for none could tame the behemoth alone. In the hours before dawn, as the Night Sentinels weathered the relentless assault, the Outlander held his ground at the foot of the Great Wall in the northern bend of the castle. Seeing his unending vigor, Samur, Chancellor to the Mother God, hurried the Outlander away under the veil of secrecy, and for reasons unknown, submitted him to the Rite Untold. This was heresy, for Samur received no consent from the Khan Maker, nor did he receive her counsel. In the Chapel of Purity, the Outlander submitted himself to the divinity machine. There, Samur Maker, the Seraphim, known to us only as the aid to the Mother God, blessed the Outlander with fierce speed and power to match his will. It was the method by which this transfusion took place that was most uncertain to us, for we were of the knowledge that the Maker's device bestowed onto the Argenta so many generations ago was used by the priests only to find impurity among us. How could it be the device was meant to cull the sentinel breed of its contaminants, could then be used to purify the Outlander's body and give rise to the one who would lead us in battle henceforth? What rose from the holy coffin on that fateful day was not the impure abomination the Covenant warned of us. The hero within would come to be known only as the Great Slayer, the Time Walker, the warrior Khan whose fire sword would blaze forth a path for the just and cut through the demonic horde with a vengeance that only a god king could summon. He rose unbroken by the ritual, his eyes burning with Maker magic. He took the crucible in hand, and wraithfire leapt forth from the blade, as only it will when held by a true sentinel warrior king. In our darkest hour, the Slayer had been chosen, defying tradition, our most sacred laws, and the will of the great Khan herself. A stranger to our lands, had been blessed with celestial might.
We must move. Quickly. There are those who would seek to stop me. I offer you a gift. Take it. It will give you strength. Help you on your journey. And now, they will fear you.
The Slayer's new power gave the Night Sentinels untold victories. Deep into the heartlands of hell. So great were these victories that the Daeg priests could now build massive factories to harvest more of this life essence from hell. But the Slayer once again tempted fate. I read for a last time from the Codex of the Sentinels. The Conmaker did not seem at ease with the unforeseen rise of our Slayer, and the Seraphim, who had birthed the Destroyer in a secret, soon vanished from Urdak, perhaps exiled for his heresy. Our legions rose unfettered under the unquenchable rage of the Doomslayer, and his design led the Conmaker to find profit in his endorsement. It soon became known that the Slayer was the Maker's god machine, a holy relic reborn, sent to bring the Maker's word to the wicked and to smite those who would seek to harm all who followed the path to Urdak. With the Slayer unwittingly cleaving a path for the Mother Gods, siphon the essence, processing it beyond our knowledge into fuel that would come to be known as Argent energy. The Slayer cared not for polity. He took no interest in the workings of our people, but set his task only on his desire, the destruction of the demons and their world. He no longer spoke, for reasons unknown, though it was understood that he still possessed the ability, offering only guttural hefts of anger as he inflicted pain upon his enemies. For years he marched with the Night Sentinels through the fires of the demon lands, and ever returning to our homeland, finding much changed in Argent Denur. Should any blame be appropriated to the Sentinels, it is this: in our fervor we were negligent of our people, and did not see the rising tide of evil our crusade empowered. We knew only the enemy laid before us, and the wealth of Argenta at our backs, and did not pause to seek the cost and method of this progress. It was at this time the great betrayal of the Conmaker was known. The essences that the Argent people had grown so dependent on was in fact the spirits of their brothers and sisters who'd fallen to the Hellspawn, their bodies twisted and turned into demonic creations that the Night Sentinels fought, all to power the Argenta world and the Maker's life force. A civil war began, for the Conmaker struck a bargain with the forces of hell, harvesting their essence, but allowing them to ravage worlds under the Maker's grasps. The Maker rallied the people against the Night Sentinels, who had a plan of their own: travel to Necroval and destroy these factories of death. But then, a final betrayal ended this story. The Order of Daeg, the priests that were sworn to the Night Sentinels by blood oath, preyed on the fears of one lone sentinel who mourned his son, promising to return the boy back to life. The Betrayer, as he is now known, earned his name on that day, and all remaining forces were trapped with legions of demons at their flanks in hell. Thousands fell to the Night Sentinel's blade. The Sentinels themselves, though, fell to a man, save for one, the Slayer, who would go on to torment the realm of hell for thousands of years, until eventually being trapped in a demonic sarcophagus, until one fateful day he was resurrected by the robot we know as Samuel Hayden. This is the untold story of the Doom Marine and the Doom Slayer. I leave you now with the final words for the Argenta people that they left for their Slayer. If the Slayer does live, let him carry our vengeance forward. If he persists, let him wreak violence on those who have wronged us. May the blood of his sword never dry. May his war never end until the guilty have been punished, and may this evil never again spread its shadow to another world.